Hello everyone, welcome to my festive live stream. I thought I would wear the hat because it's in keeping. The tree's right next to me, though annoyingly you're not going to be able to see it, so let's just turn it around there so you can see it. There you go, there's our tree. It's only a small one because it's bird considerations. Hope you're all doing well this weekend and have had a pleasant one. We're back to darkness again, so we're using the lamp to highlight me. I would use the main light, but we need to change the bulbs in there because we reckon it's irritating the birds. So no main light because that will probably just make them noisy. Again, hope you're doing well. So today is a kind of festive themed one. I did have loads and loads of things to discuss in a festive theme. Sorry for saying that again, but they've actually been covered in other videos. So I'm going to briefly touch on that, and then I'm going to talk about some other topics instead. So we're going to have some festive stuff going on, but we are going to be talking about a bit about training, what's been going on here in general, what our plans are for the festive season, and what we plan to give you in the upcoming year, and what sort of things we'll be doing, basically. So let's have a quick look at the chat. Hello to everyone and is joining. Yes, Mr. Tinis will. Oh, no, sorry. No, it will not be, actually. I think Sophie will be doing one as well later on, depending on time. We have been exceptionally busy and probably hoping that things are going to settle down. But I think Sophie's going to try and fit in one more live before the festive season starts. So, again, yep, hello. Welcome. Hey, Adara. Welcome back. It's been a while. Hello, Momac. Hello, Gina. Hello, Mr. Teeny. I'm just shouting out anyway. Hello, Klaus, even though we've been asking questions. And thank you, Tess. If you're here for signing up to be a channel member, that's a lovely thing to see. The very first thing I see in the chat box. Hello, Grace. Welcome. I'll just give people a bit of time to file in. I'm not expecting this to be a mega popular live, but, I want to give people enough time to actually get in here. So, yeah, it's nice to... Hello, Curtis. It's just nice. There's quite a few people filtering in already, and that you'll be joining me. I do plan to get the birds out as well later. Pickles is completely fine with his hat. Scampy's a bit nervous. I'll probably have to take it out when the boys come out, but I'm hoping to just do a little bit of training with them and just get Chip doing some waving and stuff. I'm not going to push them too much because there's been a lot of disruption, lots of stuff going on, and I just don't want to really stress them out, really. So I might just let them sit on there and relax like I normally do during lives. Momac, I'm glad. I'm really glad because we really like these cages. Considering they're sort of a budget brand, we're really impressed with how good they are. And we have all of our cages on nowadays. So if you're in the middle and you can't afford a huge one, like an aviary sized one, and you don't want to go for a really small rubbish one, these are a great compromise. Hello, Parrots and Wheels, welcome. All the flocks breakfast, yeah, we've all got different time zones here. Lots of people from America. I think there's some Australian people tuning in. That's going to be quite late there. And obviously, we've got a load of people from Europe as well. So hello to you wherever you are in the world. Very dark here, hopefully a little bit lighter there. Joru, welcome. Welcome. Thank you for joining. So now everyone's sort of filed in. I'm going to start talking about topics. Let's start talking about something that's a little bit less fun, and that's festive dangers. So before I start talking about this, Sophie has literally just done a video on festive dangers, which is well worth looking at. It explores this all in much more depth than I'm going to talk about right now. But I thought I would just make people aware of dangers around the festive season, just in case you're not, because we don't want any accidents. We want it to be as fun and happy a time for you and your birds as it possibly can be. I also have a video coming up on festive treats, but I'll talk about that later. So cooking is probably one of the biggest dangers to your parrots in this season. Don't forget to avoid all those non-stick things, all that Teflon, all that sort of material. And if you are going to use it, make sure it's far, far away from your birds. It's better safe than sorry. Don't want your birds in the kitchen when you're cooking. Don't want any open fires, all that sort of stuff. Just use common sense and be safe. Be mindful of relatives. If they want to air the house, they're coming around poking your birds. That's going to stress your birds out potentially, or your relatives are going to get hurt. So make sure they're being sensible. Christmas tree lights and those wires, don't let them chew them and destroy them, because if they get to that electrical bit, which is quite easy to get to on these lights, that's going to harm them. And finally, decorations. Briefly, something to fly up, naughty boy. Some decorations aren't really very safe for your birds, so keep them away from them and don't let them destroy them. Other than that, watch Sophie's video. Festive dangers are much better covered in that than I can talk about right here. Yeah. Have we all been naughty this year, Mr. Teeny? Yeah, I suppose so. The birds have been extra naughty. I don't know if they're going to be getting their presents, but I suppose they've already had them because we've been just giving them loads of stuff anyway. Yeah, have we been naughty? I don't know if me and Sophie would consider ourselves naughty, I guess. We haven't been the best, but we're trying our best to be good where we can. What have we got here in the chat then? Yeah, I enjoyed Sophie's video as well. I was sitting here watching, trying to keep the birds quiet when she was filming it. Ursula Love, hi Parrot friends. Can anyone recommend the best apples to give our birds? Well, you can give them bits of apple, but there's loads of other fruits you can give your birds. And also, if you are giving apple, make sure it's very small portions. Make sure you cut it into small pieces and avoid giving them anything apart from the flesh because it's just nicer for them. What types of apple? I mean, whatever apples that we can eat, they can eat. Just be cautious about it and don't give them too big a portion. Exactly, Gina. You should always be mindful of it. I mean, some people like consider that sort of video a bit of a killjoy around this time of year, but for me, I find it's less of so because if people watch it and then they're prepared for it, then nothing's going to go wrong. And then they're like, oh, cool, I've had a nice festive season with my parrot and nothing horrible's happened and we can really enjoy it and get the most out of it because that's more important. Your safety, the parrot's safety, and everyone happy. Yeah, Conyers love apples. I don't know what it is about them. They like apple juice as well, which is okay to give them, especially if it's fresh and you make it yourself. Blackberries, blueberries, especially berries are good. Blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, strawberries, they're low sugar fruits. So you can give your parrot a little bit more of them. Whereas if you give them stuff like apples or other, like maybe even citrus, that has to be done in extreme moderation because they're high sugar fruits. There's lots of stuff in there. Whereas lower sugar ones, especially blueberries, which is probably one of my favorites, you can give a little bit more of that and it just tastes just as nice and they really enjoy it. What have we got here? Anything else? Right. So that's just very briefly on festive dangers because again, Sophie's covered it. So I was going to talk about festive treats again. So I know you guys like my silly ideas around this season about making these random mocktails and silly things to give our parrots. I've made Sophie's made festive Santas. I made some other random crazy thing. So I actually decided to do, I'm not doing a festive special. This is kind of going to be it. But I also did a festive treats you can share with your parrot video. And that's going to sort of talk about some of my ideas and some of the things that you can do with it. And I'll be putting that up in a while. So we've got a couple of other things going on. But, this season has there's lots of things that are dangerous to your parrot, but there's lots of things you can share with them. The top things off the top of my head are herbs and spices. You're going to be using herbs in your cooking. Rosemary is very traditional around here. Thyme, again, this time of year. Why not just use some fresh rosemary and thyme? Give it to your birds as well, because that is great. They can enjoy it. Spices, when you're making your mulled wine, if you do that, you've got your cloves, you've got your cinnamon, it's provided it's safe cinnamon, and then you've got your star anise. Those can all go to your birds as well. They can enjoy it, and you can also use them as sort of like air fresheners around the house if you want that festive scent without using anything that is dangerous. What else did I put as well? Oh, yeah. So you can make those decorations. I'm not going to go into them like homemade decorations. I've already talked about them so much in previous videos, but there's loads of great things you can do that cost save and that your parents can enjoy. The paper straws are probably the best idea. I'll probably get one out for Scampy later. We can enjoy it while I'm talking. But yeah, I'll have loads of ideas and that festive things you can share with your parrot because why not include them in all these activities? Lots of things you can do with them. What have we got here then? And by the way, guys, I will be doing the usual question and answers. I will answer some questions now, then I'll do the whole long question and answer session at the end. So my 2-month-old cockatiel keeps screaming like he's hungry. I presume he's hungry, but he's not. So he's very young still, and he will still probably make baby noises and scream. It could be an attention-seeking scream. There could be something else going on. If it's just on his own, and he's often in the cage, he's probably going to scream for you because he wants to be near you. You're basically his flock now. So he wants you to be around a lot. And it can be a challenging behavior, especially with cockatiels. They're used to being in massive flocks. So you have to do some work with him to teach him that it's okay to be alone for a little bit and also make it fun for him so that his environment is fun. And you may be aware of all these things. Sorry if I'm telling you stuff you already know. But yeah, they will make baby noises even when they're not hungry. It'll be an attention-seeking thing often. And you need to make sure they have lots of attention and lots of fun and also are happy being in their own space by providing lots of activities, for example, foraging. Yeah, Ursula Love, you can get all sorts of, oh, blimey, you can get all sorts of very naughty things. I'm supposed to be saying not naughty. You can get all sorts of different variant brands of apples, and sometimes they're not actually ideal. Not ideal as in not healthy, but like they won't be as good as others. So it's best to experiment and try. Like, for example, we bought a brand of fruit, which was lovely, and then suddenly the quality dropped off. It's just the way the world is right now. So, Mr. Teeny, that is definitely exceptionally naughty of you. Thank you very much. Very appreciated. That is like the naughtiest anyone's been just exceptionally naughty, really. I mean, you're certainly on my nice list, so I don't really care what Santa has to say about the matter. But yeah, it's very naughty. And I don't think I've mentioned this in a while. If anyone keeps was wondering why on earth I keep saying people are naughty, it's kind of like a running joke that we have during lives or in other contexts. If anyone like donates or does things, we basically say they're being naughty, because when we first started doing this, we're a little bit better with it now. We found it very embarrassing as British people that people were giving us money just for talking and giving advice. And our way of dealing with that was just to say it was naughty. So that's basically where that comes from. Yeah, quality is dropping. It's just sad, really. Like, a lot of product quality is dropping. Quality is dropping for our food as humans. It's dropping for other stuff. I just hope it improves, because eventually it's just not sustainable, really. Eventually the bubble's going to burst and people are going to start behaving themselves and being a little bit more responsible. So yes, very, very, very naughty, Mr. Tina. It deserves a second shout out. Thank you once again, Mr. Tina. It's exceptionally naughty. I hope you're doing very well. Yeah, because obviously we talked about Patreon about that sort of stuff. Sing Emporia is finding it very amusing. Everyone loves the naughtiness. So Burbs about how are the teals? If you're talking about our cockatiels, they're doing completely fine. Chip had a night fright quite a while ago, and he lost a couple of feathers in that, but otherwise they're fine. We had to replace our chairs because the old ones are so filthy. Honestly, people were talking about how clean we kept this property, and we did a good job, but after time, it just went. So they're quite good with that. They're quite good with there. He's been demanding lots of scritches and petty pets. He's been really enjoying his time with me, basically. Fish is the same as usual. He loves his bonking. He's been very brave. They've actually been, that's another good point. They've been very brave, the cockatiels. So normally they're a bit hesitant to sort of jump on my desk or Sophie's desk because things are constantly changing on there. We've got work, notes and stuff everywhere. But recently they decided they're going to crawl all over the desks. They're going to bonk things. They're going to throw items out of little ramekins. They love this little nail file they keep just throwing on the floor. They patrol my desk. They bonk this anime figure I have on there. They pull pens out of my pen pot and just throw them. So, it's quite naughty, but it's also quite charming for me because it shows they're feeling brave and they're feeling confident and happy. So yeah, they're doing quite well. Right, so what have we got here? I've got some random bits of information I was just going to shout out because I lost most of my topics because I decided to do other videos and Sophie decided to do them. In fact, what have we got? So yeah, I'll talk about these topics and then we'll get some birds out as well. Actually, we have that going on too. So for any of you guys who aren't arachnophobic, I've got another spider now. If you want to find out about her name's Blossom. She's exceptionally cute. You can go over to my other channel, Spooderpods. Just type in Spooderpods in YouTube search, and you can find out all about her and all our inverts. To me and Sophie, she's absolutely adorable. She's a very cute little girl, and she's settling in very well right now. I'm going to be doing a course as well now. I couldn't afford to do my master's studying basically parrot behaviour, so I've canned that idea, and I'm doing another highly regarded American course, which is a shorter course and much more affordable, thankfully, which is going to be covering all the in-depth bits of training. So I want to improve my knowledge as a trainer, and this is probably one of the most highly regarded courses you can do. And you even have to sort of request to go onto it. You can't just apply normally. You have to request and I got onto it, so I'm happy. So I'll be doing that. So I have much more knowledge and in-depth knowledge to share with you, both on here, on YouTube and on Patreon, because I want to basically just know more and give more about this sort of stuff. So stay tuned for that sort of stuff. On Patreon, if you haven't, I know not all of you get to pop on there as often. On Patreon, I've recently done a couple of videos on the 4 quadrants of operant conditioning, which is another in-depth training video, and also talking about negative reinforcement and how there's a big debate about it. And I'm going to touch a little bit on that in this live as well, because that's very interesting. Me and Sophie do plan to do more courses. We promise we will be putting stuff out, like the one we did for Jason. We'll be popping that out. We have lots of courses we want to do, both free resources and paid. It's just time, and time has been very against us recently. We've had a lot on. It's been quite stressful. There's lots of stuff we had to do, and it's only just starting to settle down. And then we want a little sort of break before we start piling on. On that note, I plan to try and become a bit more of a presence on Instagram and TikTok, because a lot of people on TikTok seem to be enjoying the random content I put up, and I'm finding the educational content on there so lacking. I kind of want to try. I know I'm probably opening a can of worms here, and I'm going to be putting myself in a firing line for a lot of horrible comments, but I want to try it. Doesn't mean I'm going to lapse on here or my other responsibilities. That's still going to carry on. But yeah, I want to do that as well. Probably I'll be doing one sort of short training video a week on there as well. Right, let's catch up with the chat again, and then let's get some birdies out. In fact, let's get some birdies out first, and then let's catch up with the chat. Let's have Pickles and Scampy out first because she shouldn't be worried about this at all. Whereas Scampy, let's see how you're going to be. Because normally you're okay. What do you want? Are you coming? Are you both coming on my arm? Say hello first, shall we, before we go to get treats? Hello. Hello, Bubs. Hello, little stinkers. You've been very brave, aren't you? Do you want a treat for being brave? No, don't be mean. So you go there for a second, or do you want to get snacks? You are silly. Right, let me sit down first. You gonna wave at everyone? Good girl. You gonna wave at everyone, Scampy? You good boy. Right, so let's catch up on the chat. Don't you dare be mean to him. I know you're not gonna go on my head. Where do you want to go? Where do you want to go? You are silly. Sorry, I'm just having a moment here with these little guys because they seem to be not doing what I was expecting them to do. Do you want a straw, little man? Is that what you're after? Because you spotted them, haven't you? These are little paper straws I was talking about. They're basically just a non-plastic coated natural paper straws with treat stuff in them. Do you like that? So you can have... Okay, we don't want that. Well, you've got to tell me what you want because I need to carry on this live. And I need to see the chat, otherwise you're going to be stressed. Anyway, let me go back to what we're talking about. Yeah, desensitization works are really, really important. I talked about that as well. Indian ringnecks can be very naughty, burbs are better. They're a lot more hard work than people make out for them. Yeah, paperwork always gets shredded, Curtis. We do it. We love Blossom. Blossom's absolutely adorable. Education. This is actually an American course, by the way. But yeah, the Masters here was just... It was very good. It looked like a good course, but it's just far too expensive. So I'm not doing that. Not until I am much more wealthy. Thank you, Gina. We try to sort of give a mix of content on Patreon because we want to make everyone happy. Hello, Sandra. Ho, ho, ho. Yeah, Pickles and Scampy are out and about. The cuteness. Did I miss something? Sorry, if anyone comments about Blossom. Yeah, she's very, very cute. So you two are being very odd. So Scampy's like a little bit bothered by the hat, but he wants to just be saying hello to everyone. So if he wants to sit on my arm and say hello, what about you, Pickles? You want to come say hello to everyone? If you want to sit on my fingers while I talk, that's fine. You're a little bit nervous, but you kind of want to be near the screen. Where do you want to go? Oh, you are a cheeky. All right, I'll tell you what. I know what's going to tempt you into behaving yourself. You just sit there. You have that. You can just eat that on screen to satisfy everyone's cuteness requirement. While he's a bit nervous to the hat, but he's been quite brave. But what I might do is I might just take it off because let's face it, their comfort is much more important than me wearing a silly hat. I'll try him on a straw if he wants to sit on. Exactly. Are you happier now? Are you happy? You are just being... So he's being incredibly fussy right now. Hello, Ahmed. Welcome. He's just being really fussy. Like, I don't know. He seems to just want to be with me. And if he's happy with that, that's happy. Hello, Ellen. They are... Yeah. Did I not point out? Sorry. Hello, Ellen. Sorry. Yeah. So they are being cute on you. Yes, you're a good boy. I don't have any more treats to hand to you. I didn't really plan very well. Yeah, Pickles' favourite spot right now is my head. She comes out, she wants to train for a little bit. She may want to forage for a little bit, and then she just wants to sit on my head base. That's where she wants to be. I suppose it's nice and warm. She can see everything. It's comfortable. Whereas this little guy tends to like to sit here. He loves sitting here most of the time, which makes it very awkward to film with him. So I just want to stand there like that. But yeah, he just kind of goes where he wants to, what he feels like. You're not going on. That's one place you can't go. The laptop is not for little scramblers. Right, sorry, I'm going to have to get up a second and see what he wants to do here. And then we'll get back to what we're supposed to be talking about. Do you want snacks from here? You want a pooch? That's fine. All right, if that's what you want, you stay here, but you're not going on that keyboard. I'll tell you that for free. That's one place you're not allowed. So what have we got? Have we missed anything in the chat that I didn't point out to anyone? You silly boy. Thank you, Iris. Yeah, he's being extra cute today. I'm not sure. Normally, what's wrong-footed me with this live is normally Scampy wants to go straight to that stand and snack. Today, he just wants to climb on my keyboard and probably turn this live off very quickly if I'm not careful. So I'm going to try you one more time a minute. If you don't want that, then I'm out of luck, really. So anyway, back to my topic. So we talked about Patreon, the courses. Oh, yes. So I wanted to tell you guys, so some people have been asking what we do during the holiday season. So me and Sophie don't really do anything special. We kind of see family and stuff beforehand. They all live all over the place. It's quite a long way. I don't have that many family to see. So we get that all done early on. We do all our work and stuff. And then during the actual holiday season, we try to sort of shut down the business because we're kind of available all the time. And that can be quite stressful sometimes. And then during the sort of season, we just have a nice meal. We watch Lord of the Rings. We watch the trilogy over the Christmas period. We maybe play a board game. We have a nice meal together. We get these guys out, give them some treats, and then Charlie decides to scream, doesn't he? You nibble me, don't you? And just basically relax, keep it to ourselves. Enjoy the gifts we get each other, and it's a very sort of intimate thing just between me and her and the birds. Afterwards, I tend to maybe see friends, maybe try and go out for a meal, that sort of thing. But we try to keep it quite low key and relaxed because there's always a lot of stresses and we just want to relax. This year has been like a really up and down year. And just right before this period, we've had so much work. We just had an in-home consult recently. We took out the whole day. Then all the family visiting, all the replacement of furniture, dealing with like, these little fellas, helping other people. It's been quite a lot. So yeah, we just want it to be nice and chill and relaxed. Oh, you little terror. Come here. And Sandra Reka, very naughty. Thank you very much. I do love the emojis. They're absolutely adorable. How do I? Okay, I don't know how I can like that because it's being silly. So I'm just going to click my own like button just to shout it out for you. Thank you very much, Sandra. It's much appreciated. Welcome to the Naughty Club. Yeah, and Scampy's like the ultimate naughty today purely because he just wants to be on that keyboard. He's never done it before. I wonder if it's just because he can see himself on it. Yeah, extended version only, Adara. Lord of the Rings has to be watched extended. It just adds so much to it. And both me and Sophie are big Lord of the Rings fans. It's just really cool. Depending on your perspective, some people may not consider it cool, but I do. There's that series as well. I sort of suggested maybe watching that afterwards. The Hobbit movies are okay. Before someone mentions that, but I don't really see the need to watch them, honestly. So Ursula, so I was getting them very excited. I'm not sure that's a good or bad thing. Apologies if it's bad. Yay if it's good. Yeah, Lord of the Rings is a great way to spend a holiday. Oh, and the other thing we'll do is probably watch some football as well, because like with Amazon, you actually get like football, and Sophie's a big football fan. I don't mind it as well. I tend to watch more like international stuff, but when it's like, I don't mind watching local as well. Exactly, Sophie. It's got to be extended. He is. So basically, this little fella wants to take over. You want to be the master of the live stream. We could do some try. You know what? Let's try and do a little bit of training with you. If you're that keen to be involved, I've got some treats that I've got further away. GTA and Takeout. There's a new one of them coming out. I'd quite like that. Can you shake my hand? Good boy. Yeah, I mean, I'm glad a lot of people like Lord of the Rings. He is. He's in a very silly mood, Adara. I mean, it's kind of cute, but it's difficult when he gets on that keyboard, so I don't want to like usher him off. Oh wow, that's a big wave, wasn't it? We can do another one. Wow. Have a couple more. I'm not so keen on Mr. Potter, I'm afraid. Despite being British, it's not really my sort of thing, honestly. I'm much more into Lord of the Rings. I like some sci-fi as well. I like the Aliens franchise. That's quite cool. We discussed that over on Discord, because that's really like one of my favorites at the moment. There's some really cool computer games. Do you want me to flip? Okay, should we get my finger out? Because you're trying to sat on my... You flip for everyone? Oh, is it uncomfortable? Can you do that? Do you want it on the opposite finger? Come on, go on there. And try it on this side because it might be easier for you. We do it again. I'm not going to make him do it too many times because it's going to stress him out. I'll do it a couple more times. Look how disciplined this little man is. Like, he'll just go and go. And sometimes he'll just offer the behaviour over and over again. Not the keyboard. Oh, my goodness, you little monster. You enjoy that, Ahmed. A lot of people love Scampy's flipping. Pickles can do it too. So I might show you, if I can get this little guy to settle down for a moment, I might show you her flip as well. You just want more treats. There's just snacks there, literally right behind you. There are snacks. If I move the stand closer, will you go on it then? A lot of people ask me, does this all they do when they're like out? And it's like, no, of course not. I just use the stand as a convenience for live streams because it's a bit hard to manage and do that with live streams as well. So Pickles, do you want to do some behaviours for everyone? People seem to enjoy that. Oh, do you want to try and flip for me? Can we do a couple in a row? Good girl. Scampy's like, right, he's doing training. Oh no, here we go again. Here we go again. Should we just right? Let's hope that Scampy's not going to turn his live stream off and do a couple of behaviours. If you don't turn the live stream off, you'll get a reward. If you do, then you're a very naughty boy. We shake. Go. Right, I'll have to use the sleeve, won't I? Because otherwise you're going to get very cheeky. Come on. You go there, you snack. If you want to come back on, you can come. He basically wants to dominate the live. He's the center of attention today. I'm Mr. Scampy. Curtis, incredibly cheesy action films. Oh, well, those are things I really enjoy as well. I love my Arnold Schwarzenegger films. I've watched a couple of Van Damme. I like Bruce Lee's classic movies. This is a bit of an out there one. If you want a recommendation, watch the Dead or Alive movie. It is lots of action. It's complete tongue-in-cheek, and it's just the ultimate in cheese. I didn't expect. I used to love the franchise, a computer game, like beat 'em up franchise. But my goodness, it is good cheese in some ways. Yes, these little guys will destroy things. Most of the stuff I've managed to protect. This laptop cannot be destroyed. It's our work laptop, so I will not let them destroy it. I've managed to keep my controllers fairly safe, but generally a lot of stuff does get broken. My mouse is a favorite of all the birds. They love throwing it around. We have like a fake mouse that I put on there sometimes, and so he puts on there to try and distract them, because they all just pick it up and throw it on the floor. Because I've gone through a couple of mice, and I like the silent clicking one so it doesn't interfere with anything, and they're quite expensive. Like I can't keep spending 15. Are you thirsty? I can have a tiny little bit 'cause it's not got anything in it. Do you not shake it on the computer, please? Do you want a little bit more? He's such a boss. Do you want a little bit as well? No. We're not. Okay, this is literally birdie chaos now. I am going to scoop you off of there because you're not letting you have any more of that. I was not expecting these guys to be so entertaining, but also so incredibly naughty, badly behaved today. I mean, it's amusing me. Yeah, I have been derailed. Cheers, Ahmed. So where was I? I'm completely derailed. Sharknado is a classic. I don't think I've seen that. I should watch that. Oh my goodness, Scampy. Right, you're going to have to go in about 5-10 minutes if you're going to carry on with this, because you are going to turn it off if you carry on. Oh, I think I've seen that, Steph. It feels the name sounds familiar. If not, I'll look it up just in case it was something I've seen. Yeah, Pickles is definitely not bathing in that. Could you imagine? Like, we'll never get it out of her feathers. He's wiping. He's had his drink. Now he's wiping it off of my sleeve, and he's going to destroy it. He's going to bite it because conures have this weird behaviour. They get themselves wet and then they take it out on your clothing. I'd rather it on my clothing than my flesh, basically. Oh, so that was the other thing I wanted to mention. So when I was talking about like stuff coming up, I've got some. I didn't talk about what I was going to put up on the main channel. So obviously on this channel, I've got a gift guide coming out. I've got the festive things you can share with your parrots. But I've also done a Mr. Bird special because I know you guys. A lot of you guys are fan favourites of Mr. Bird. It's not for everyone. Some people find it a bit boring or annoying, but I know a lot of you enjoy Mr. Bird. So I did a short special. It's got some stupidity in it, some funniness. So hopefully you guys enjoy that. I filmed a more serious video for you guys who don't want just nothing but festive content as well about observation. And I've got some stuff planned related to birdie eyesight, birds with disabilities regarding their eyesight, more training content and more stuff specifically to conures. Let's skip those ads so you don't have to watch them. I don't want you to see them because it's boring and annoying for you. Lots of sort of more in-depth content, basically. There is a bit of a struggle getting views right now, but what me and Sophie decided is we'd rather put out the content we feel that is beneficial to people and useful rather than what we think YouTube wants, because that's not going to get us anywhere, really, is it? Good boy. Yeah, that is very cheesy, Curtis, and it's Arnie. So, anything to do with Arnie is well worth it. Curtis, it's a really worthwhile watching film. And I also have I love sharks. So that's another thing that you just randomly know about me now. I really like sharks, and I haven't seen that, so I should probably rewatch Jaws as well at some point, because that's a classic, isn't it? It's quite cheesy. So let's go back to the topic. We've done that. Training. So as I mentioned earlier in this live stream, I did some dedicated videos on Patreon. I also did a really interesting interview with Nikki from Shaping Behaviour, which you can watch on the main YouTube channel. Well worth watching, really interesting. And I talked about the 4 quadrants of operant conditioning. So you've got your positive reinforcement, your negative reinforcement, your positive punishment, negative punishment. And it can be very confusing, and sometimes the line blurs between them. So I think it's really worth discussing. But one thing that came out of it, and something that's been cropping up a lot in a lot of trainers, they're talking about it an awful lot, is negative reinforcement. Now, some trainers are talking about it. Oh, sorry, before I talk about it, let's define it. Negative reinforcement is adding something to the environment to decrease likelihood of behaviour. So I would add something in to decrease. Oh, goodness, I'll get myself tongue-tied because of all these birdies and screaming now. So yeah, you basically want to... No, to increase likelihood. Oh my god, I knew I got that wrong. Adding something to taking away something from the environment, decrease likelihood. Oh my god, I've got myself completely muddled now because I'm just the boys are screaming in the background, and I'm a bird trainer, so I can't even define negative reinforcement. It's so embarrassing. And Sophie's not here to rescue either. Put it in the chat, please, Sophie, because I am exhausted and I'm not functioning on any sort of sleep. Thank you. Yeah, so you're taking something away to increase the likelihood of behaviour. So yeah, if you may have noticed, me and Sophie are incredibly tired as well. With recent videos, you may have seen it in our latest video as well. Oh goodness. So yeah, it's a lot of talk about it and how some trainers are saying it's not the most useful. There's a lot of trainers that are sort of arguing that is very useful. Me and Sophie, as usual, sit on the fence, and we're talking about the most. I think Gina mentioned it earlier, actually, that the most positive use for it, and I don't mean that in the training jargon way, is with descents work. It's exceptionally useful when you're doing descents work, and it doesn't require treats. Because with positive reinforcement, adding something to the environment to increase likelihood of something, you can't always do that with some parrots, especially in the home setting. So you want to be able to do that without treats. And if you're taking something away to increase likelihood of a behaviour, it makes it much easier to get that first step, and then you can immediately swap over to positive reinforcement. Now, the argument against it was people saying that you're basically adding in the versive, which is something that your parrot does not like in the first place. And that is not really very good because you're having to make your parrot scared. And that's where the debate was. And it was quite an interesting debate. I found it very interesting. I weighed in on it on Discord and Patreon. And I got my definition correct because I wasn't functioning on very little sleep. So again, yeah. I'm just going to look at this little man to be calm now because I'm very embarrassed about that. I'm just so. Do you just appreciate the cuteness here that he's had a few snacks, he had a drink, and just the cuteness, just him sitting here during a live stream and me talking loudly and him being completely chill, and that was through basically a mix of negative reinforcement, descents work, and positive reinforcement because he was very reactive to sound like a lot of conures are, and it took a lot of time and training. So let's have a look what people have to say in the chat. Hopefully nothing too horrible. Yeah, just tornado full of sharks. I mean, what can't you go wrong with, Exactly, Gene, that's really good. You can do descents work. People say that you can't do descents work with reptiles, other animals. It's not true. You can, 100%. Mr. Teeny, I think it happens to everyone, honestly. Yeah. As I said, we've done an awful lot recently, and it's catching up with us a bit. We're both very keen to sort of take a break. Yeah, get other people to mix stuff up as well. I can't see that. The one great thing about this button in the thing in the corner is I can't actually see what people write on the bottom thing. I presume you said with tank I was doing descents. I hope that's what you wrote. But anyway, let's go back to my topics because that's nice and easy. So yeah, don't be afraid to use negative reinforcement at home. But if you are going to use it, make sure you watch a video on it and you know the correct definition of it and how to use it. A lot of people, when they're using positive reinforcement, you can't really go too wrong with that as long as you're sensible with it, making sure you reward for what you want to see. With negative, it takes a bit of a nuanced approach, but it is something everyone can do. Something I say often is that parrot training is not magic. It is science, and it's also accessible. We are not magicians. We are just people who have studied it, who have put it into practice and know about it. That can be you as well. There's nothing stopping you from doing a bit of research and getting your basics down because it is animal training is very accessible to everyone. All it takes is practice and effort. Can you remind me why peanuts are not good for parrots, Iris? So one, they're a legume, so not actually a nut. A lot of people think that that's great. Also, the biggest issue with them is you can have mold spores in them. They're not very well manufactured often. They're very low grade when it comes to where they're kept for these little guys. And it's best to avoid them, honestly. Exactly, parrots and wolves. It's great. It's such a useful technique. And I would always argue that negative reinforcement has a place in training, and positive reinforcement should be your first call every time, but negative reinforcement has its place. Mr. Teeny, you did some Comic-Con. I hope that was fun. I miss going to Comic-Cons because, as you probably maybe ascertained by now, I'm a huge nerd. So I like all sorts of things nerdy. I still like anime despite my age because I grew up with it. And I would love to go to another Comic-Con. Obviously, anxiety reasons hold us back a little bit, but mostly it's just so expensive in the UK, and we don't want to spend all that money. You know, I can have my mini Comic-Con here and spend a lot less. So yeah. Exactly, Mr. Teeny. It doesn't see. I am a fan of university education, especially when it's done right and you have a good faculty who genuinely want to help you. But I am not one of these people who goes parading my letters after my name in people's faces. I have quite a few letters after my name. I would have had a doctor in front of it had things been different, but that didn't happen. And I don't see myself as superior or inferior or whatever. And when it comes to parrot training, I would argue that hands-on experience is more important than the educational side. Some people disagree with me there, but I think if you can do both, either through self-study, good self-study, you know, like from reliable sources, and through hands-on practice, you're going to do very well. Could you tell me where that was, Sandra? Was that Scampi there, or was that Pickles up there? Because if it was up there, I need to deal with it. If it's there, that's okay. I can clean that later. Yeah, I mean, even with just YouTube resources, you can go quite far because with negative reach, that's fine. He can go where he wants. He's being caught. Yeah, practical hands-on. So a lot of my educational background is not related to parrots. I just had a lot of experience because I've had them for so long. It's only now in the last 3-4 years that I am catching up with my education. You know, doing diploma, studying, doing this other course, and trying to expand. And that's purely because I want to be the best I can at teaching it to other people. You know, there's all sorts of ways. So yeah. Don't let anyone tell you they're a magician or that you can't be a good animal trainer, even if you only have one parrot at home. It's not true. You're not having any more of that, I'm afraid. You're going in a little bit. You can slurp at me all you want. It's not for you. Right, have I caught up anywhere here? By the way, guys, feel free to drop any questions in the chat, anything that you want to ask. Sophie will highlight it to me, or I will pick it up and chat on it. Momac, have you seen Cyberpunk? Is that a movie? I swear there was like, it's like, Charlie. That was like a mixture of two like games and movies I'm aware of. I'm not sure about. Oh, it's an anime. It's an anime series. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look it up because it might be something interesting to me. Cool. We've been anime-wise. We've been watching Jujutsu Kaisen. I've been rewatching My Hero Academia. I watched Evangelion, which is a classic. Oh, I love that. I want to watch. Okay, I'm definitely going to watch that, Momac. I'll look it up. I think it's almost time for these two to go home. I think it's actually time for them to go home right now because I need to deal with a very naughty Charlie and make sure he's going to be quiet so I can actually continue this. Are you coming? Good boy. What a nice step up that was. Going home? Are we not going home? We're going to be naughty. Is it just going to be birdie chaos today? Do I have to bring Pickles over so you're more confident? Is it because it's a bit dark, maybe? So I have to make light on. Come in. You really are showing me up, aren't you? I mean, you're incredibly cute, but I need you to go in. Good boy. You did this beautiful step up for me, and you're like, I'm not going in. There you go. You're such a well-behaved boy when you want to be, aren't you? So you Pickles, we can always rely on your step up, can't we? As long as there's food involved, or a cuddle. You're all about it. So consider this intermission. I'm just going to, now Charlie's quiet, reward him for being quiet with a straw. I'm going to give some to Louie and Kipling as well because I don't want them to feel left out. What have we got here? What do we have here? There's a straw for you. There's a straw for baby Olive as well. You're being quiet now as well, so you can have a straw, and there's a straw for baby Louie. There you go. Let's get you boys out because I bet you're keen. Right. Oh, are we just practicing to be like a helicopter? I mean, I'm sure people are enjoying that on the live stream, that you're a helicopter. You're going to come back in a chair? You're going to be a brave boy? Oh, I know what it is. Let's get rid of that hat then, because I know you hate it. You absolutely hate that hat, don't you? You can step up? Good boy. Chip, you want to step up? You're just gonna grizzle at me. Okay, well, we can do some training later then. If you guys are happy there and you're quiet, that works for me. Let's give you a bit of millet because you haven't got any. Right, sorry for that rather random intermission again. Take care, Curtis. Enjoy your movies. So, would you, Mr. Teeny and Momac, would you recommend a computer game because they've remade it recently? I was tempted because it's been on sale a lot and it's not expensive. So, could you recommend if that's worth the computer game's worth a go? Because it might be interesting to me. Little short's fine by me. I don't mind shorter series. Yeah, Pickles is. I love all our Conyers, as naughty as they are, as naughty as Charlie can be. I love them all. So that's an interesting topic as well. So Charlie's been a mixed bag recently. He's been so good at his training with me. My goodness, like the distance he's come with me when it comes to training, responsive, quick. You know, doesn't nibble anything. But again, something about me sitting in my chair just doesn't like. Lets me cuddle Olive now when he's out, but there's still more work to do there. So you know, there's always more work to improve. Thank you. Thank you, Sandra. Chibi Hovercraft, yeah, it makes me laugh when he does that. He's not establishing his dominance, Soviet. He's basically just scared of my Santa hat. Dominance with parrots isn't really a thing in the same way as with humans. I prefer to say it's not a thing at all, really. Hello, bookkeeping SME, welcome. You've not played it, Mr. Ting? Okay. Yeah, he loves showing his big wings. He does it sometimes to stretch his wings. He does it sometimes when he's scared, and he does it sometimes just for fun. Oh, good. Because I get into the argument about dominance quite a lot with people, and I have to explain it, and it's like, good. So I'm glad you're joking about that. So we're on to the final stretch of my live stream. It'll be live for about another 15, 20 minutes. Then I'm going to go and relax and maybe try and get some dinner on the go. I've got 2 questions I picked out from Instagram questions that I wanted to sort of highlight. And then if you have any questions, drop them in a chat. Otherwise, we'll just chat, play with the birds and do the usual stuff at the end of this live stream. So the first question I had on Instagram, which I didn't respond to, but I thought I'd do on here so people can watch it live, was should I be feeding seeds all day? And I know the context of this question, they're basically asking, it's not that they feed nothing but seed, but should they have seeds available all day? And my answer for that would probably be no. We would prefer to sort of offer soaked, sprouted items, which can include some seeds in the morning, along with veggies, legumes, that sort of thing. We prefer to give our veggies in the morning, so that's what we really want our parrots to eat. And then later on, you can offer some seed. And there's nothing wrong with having that seed in from the early to mid-afternoon, all the way through to when you replace it with vegetables. You always want food available, but it shouldn't necessarily be just seed. So don't be afraid to take the seed out, and get your parrot to try their veggies. I know that's a struggle for a lot of people. Sophie's got a great video on that topic, which you can explore on her channel. I've got a short one specifically for cockatiels worth looking at. So don't worry, you don't have to have seed in there all day. You can have other things offered there. What was the other question? And the other question was another common one. Does my bird need to go to the vet to have their nails trimmed? You are being naughty, so you can come there. No, you don't need to take your birds to the vet. You can train voluntary nail trimming. You can also get them to trim their nails on perches. You can get them to just exercise a lot, and that will wear down their nails naturally, because generally you don't want them to be going to the vet to trim their nails. It may be necessary in some circumstances, but it's much less stressful. It's voluntary. For example, the cockatiels will either wear it down on our bars, or they'll just come up to the bars and we can just trim them there while we give them snacks. Gina, thank you very much. It's very naughty of you. Welcome to the Naughty Club today. Much appreciated. And we really do appreciate what you do to support us, you guys, because these monetary donations, just the support you give us, the kind words, they really do help. When people on Discord saying, oh, that was a really good video, that is really useful to us, because it makes us think, okay, instead of sifting through some of the more negative stuff we have to occasionally. So thank you very much, Gina. Welcome to Naughty Club. Much appreciated. What have we got here then? So I've covered my questions. So that's the end of my topical stuff. Thank goodness I've covered all of that. So it's just questions from you guys. Birdie Chaos and Klaus is just joining Naughty Club with a nice cute emoji. Why won't it let me highlight it? I'll just click this button again. There you go. Thank you very much, Klaus. Much appreciated. Thank you. Welcome to Naughty Club. It's Naughty Train again today. It was a little again. So welcome to it. Yeah, so it's much appreciated. So we got a question from Bookkeeping SME, which I'm going to cover in a second. Just scrolling back up. Chip is the big fish. Fish is the big boss. Chip's like a boss as well, but Fish is the big boss. He's even got his T-shirt with Big Boss Man written on it. So, do you know much about cockatoos? I'm volunteering at a bird sanctuary, and the reactions I got from some of them. One continuously had his head flared up and his mouth open whenever he sees me. So, cockatoos are quite difficult. They're quite reactive. With regards to behaviour, I think Sophie would have more knowledge on them than me. There are some commonalities between cockatiel and cockatiel behaviour. If I saw a clip of it, I'd probably be able to advise you a lot better. But generally, if you're seeing their head feathers flared, they're excited or they're agitated. If the mouth's wide open, that means, again, the same sort of thing. So I'd be very cautious about putting your finger anywhere near them if you're seeing that sort of behaviour. If it's excitement and you know them well, then at that point, maybe you can risk interactions, because some cockatoos will do that when they're just excited or interested in something. You see it a lot in some of the videos, and you sort of pick out the context, the behaviours, and what they're really doing is just playing. But like with a lot of parrot things, one thing can mean multiple things depending on contextual factors. Context is king when it comes to parrots. You know, you look at the environment, you look at what's going on, and then you work out what that behaviour means, and you sort of build a repertoire by just watching them and observing them. Hope that helped a little bit with the question. So bookkeeping, again, we don't ever expect any naughtiness. We really appreciate it from people. You know, why wouldn't we be exceptionally grateful for people who are showing support in that way? It's very kind of them. But we appreciate any support, you know, just kind words. People, you know, signing up to low tiers of channel memberships or Patreon. People just saying, watching our videos, recommending our videos and promoting us, you know, that all helps. Ultimately, we don't want to take any money from you guys. We want to just get the money from doing our work. We want to get enough views on YouTube, so we're getting so many views that we're getting a little from everyone, so no one person has to give a lot. Because I know a lot of you people who are generous to us could spend that money on other things for yourself. So we would never expect it. We are very grateful for it. You know, times are tough. We just wish that YouTube or something would throw us a bone so we could get our views going up and get a bit more like recognition and work coming. So then we wouldn't have to sort of like, you know, rely on that sort of thing. So Parrots and Wolves, we both hope you feel better soon. It's never fun feeling a bit unwell. Cold's just going around this time of year, so we hope you feel better. And even when me and Sophie had the naughty thing, which we can't mention on here, you know, the big news thing, we still had to look after our parrots, and that was challenging. Yeah, don't trust a cockatoo until you know them really well, honestly. I would never trust a cockatoo until I have a lot of background with them. Are you going to behave yourself? Do you want to do some training? Or are you going to fly off? You're going to fly off. What about you? Fish doesn't really wave. He kind of just steps up and spins, don't you? But you're a very charming little man. Oh, you're going to bark at one. He's barking. He enjoys playing this game. I used to think I was encouraging him to be hormonal. Apparently, it's just for him. It's just fun. Doesn't really initiate any hormonal behaviour or anything. Good little nibble, isn't it? That's what we want. Nice, gentle nibbles. Chip's just gone back to snacking, so I guess maybe we'll be training with him at the end, or maybe not. Any other questions, guys? Have you, Dennis, have I ever had kakarikis? We were considering them. They're exceptionally cute, but we haven't actually kept them, no. We know a little bit about them with regards to general training and husbandry, so if you have any sort of questions about that, we can help you out there. But yeah, we just love them as a species. We love most parrots. Me and Sophie have a soft spot for smaller parrots, though, because they're kind of under-recognised for how smart and clever they are. It's all the big parrots that get all the attention, but these guys are just amazing. Thank you, Parrots and Wolves. And we appreciate, as I said, I'm repeating myself, we appreciate you as well, you know, because without you guys, we wouldn't have anything. We wouldn't have a platform. We wouldn't be able to share knowledge with anyone. And ultimately, that's what it's all about, trying to improve the world for parrots and their owners. That's what my little tagline is all about. Me and Sophie are in this mainly to make a difference, and because we want to have our own parrot sanctuary one day. And I also really like inverts as well. And that's another thing I've discovered, because I used to think I'd never be able to keep them. And now I'm like, I just want all the jumping spiders. I'm not so keen on tarantulas, but I want all the jumping spiders and all that stuff because I think they're adorable. What's a healthy diet for kakarikis? You want to be kind of giving them the same sort of diet, you know, the sort of same recommended sort of diet. So you want your healthy veggies in there. Give them a little bit more fruit, a tiny bit more because they're only very small birds. and a nice bit of diversity, because parrots are omnivorous. And one of the best things that I find interesting with parrots is go to their natural history. Sophie can comment on that. She's probably got a lot more to say than I have as bookkeeping, so I'll let her deal with that. But when we're talking about parrots with regards to, where was I? When we're talking about parrots' diets, one of the first places I recommend to everyone is find out what their natural history is. Find out what they eat in the wild, and then use that as your guide. And I'm not talking about some random guy, saying, oh, they eat nothing but seed in the wild. Looking at what they actually eat in the wild. For example, cockatiels will eat sprouts, bugs, all sorts of things. And that educated my tailoring of their later on diet. Yeah, that's quite normal. Sometimes they get into the bowls. We don't give them too often because we'd rather they forage properly, but yeah, they get in there. What have we got? So, Adara, hormones are natural, but where is the line drawn? Where is it considered natural and where is it over the top needing intervention and management? When it's a risk to your parrot's health or yours, basically, is where I'd say it's intervention. So, cockatiels are a perfect example. Female cockatiels and budgies are a perfect example. Now, you can do a lot with hormone management. And a lot of cases will be solved with hormone management. And if you're quite disciplined with it and you have time to do it, it will solve most hormone problems. And you just have a little bit of hormonal behavior. Like, for example, ours are very good at hormones and we have male-female pairings, no eggs, thankfully. But some cockatiels are prolific egg layers due to, against their natural history, the way they have to survive in the wild. Same with budgies. And in those cases, when those interventions don't work, sometimes you may have to consider going to a vet, a qualified avian vet as well, might I add, not someone who's just going to be like, yeah, whatever, take this, and considering your other options. Me and Sophie would consider the absolute last resort and generally would only really recommend it for the females because the males, they would exhibit some behaviors that are non-ideal, but it can be worked on. And sometimes it takes a lot of time and patience and troubleshooting and solving, some trainers will sort of tell you can just solve problems with like clicking your fingers and it's miracle solutions. Occasionally, yes, but most of the time it's just hard work. And you notice that a lot in life. A lot of things in life is hard work and effort. So what should we have a look here? Parrots and Woods, would you ever do a live with Blossom and Tank? I could introduce them on a live here if people wanted. But what I was thinking of doing is actually doing live streams on my other channel. And also, it's going to be a completely different audience. So what I was thinking of either doing, maybe I can do something special on here for people if they're interested. But I was going to start doing live streams to the other channel in the future at some point and just doing lives the inverts. I'm not going to have them crawling around on me because I don't think it's really very safe for them, especially during a live where I can't supervise them properly. But yeah, I'll be happy to do that, Julia. So I'll consider that in the future. Yeah, exactly, Burden and Sophie. Yeah, Sophie's spot on there. Basically, you will say occasionally see some intolerances of some things, but it is rare, as Sophie said. So Andrew, yeah, it is very cute when they do that. Klaus, I think so. I think they're absolutely adorable as well. And we're kind of converting people to the world of jumping spiders. I was converted. Other people are converted. It's a great way of getting yourself desensitized if you're a bit scared of spiders because they're tiny, they're cute. And even if they wanted to, they couldn't hurt you. They do have fangs and they do have venom, but the venom will do nothing. And their fangs are probably not even strong enough to sink through your skin. So yeah, and they wouldn't really want to anyway. Most of the time, when they do come on you, they just want to sort of sit, you're nice and warm, or they'll just jump off because they're like, I don't want to be on you. So, I wouldn't worry. They're a great way of desensing yourself. So maybe if you are scared of spiders, you can go to my other channel and watch some of the content on there and see them there. What have we got here? Okay, we've got a conversation between bookkeeping and Sophie. I won't, that's horrible. So I won't go into that because it's not something I want to read right now. Grace, it'd be cool if you went into their husbandry and stuff. So I'm actually doing that already on Spooderpods on my other channel. On Spooderpods, I'm looking at some videos. I'm producing some videos on like how to keep them warm. Because again, with this cost of living crisis, and I hope that's not going to cause trouble for his life, because it's true, it is something that's going on. It is a crisis. People are struggling and they can't always afford to have all these heating solutions. So me and Sophie found a very inexpensive one, which we use, and other people are benefiting from it. So yes, on that channel, I have gone into husbandry. I intend to go into more because I am actively studying it off the book, so to speak. I'm asking people, looking into it, and reading about it. So yeah, I'm happy to share what I learned with other people. Adara, I keep going back and forth getting a regal jumping spider. Yeah. That is the one downside of having. You have to have other bugs to feed. They are carnivores. They need other bugs. And they need a couple of varieties. So you need to have at least 2 different types. The most commonly fed ones are crickets, mealworms. You can do dubia roaches as well. I'm hoping not putting people off talking about this. Sorry, guys, if you're not into them. But they're very cute. Me neither, Parrots and Wheels. Tank's gotten a bit bigger, but they are very, very small little critters, and that's what makes them even cuter. Blossom, when she arrived, she had this little cauldron. She went straight into a little cauldron, and all you can see is these tiny little eyes peeking up, going, "Where am I? What is going on?" It was very adorable. She's much more confident now and exploring. Do you want to do some training for the last 5 minutes, Chip Chip? If I put you on the back of the chair, would you like to do some waving at people? You're going to shake my hand as well. What a clever, smart boy. Come over, fish, fish. Can do it again. Can do it again. Good boy. I feel like they have to have some sort of training because it's not fair on them otherwise. You are so smart. He started doing it. I think I might have mentioned this before, but he started doing it with his other foot. I'll try and do it here, but he may not. No. So I'm very much work in progress, that training. Fish, fish. Fish, fish. I'm going to tap you. I'm not going to tap you to make you turn around. I just want you to step up a bit, because otherwise you miss out on training. It's unfair, isn't it? So I'm doing this because a lot of people seem to overlook this type of training, which is occasionally just doing some step-up training with your birds. These guys are excellent with stepping up. They don't really have any problems, but I like to maintain it occasionally purely because it's a trained behaviour and it needs to be maintained. So sometimes if you don't do this with your birds once in a while, they're going to be like, well, I don't want to step up and I'm not going to be motivated to do it. Obviously, I'm not using any cues here because it's so well reinforced and trained. But you probably should be, obviously. It's bad practice, really. But, you know, it's just such a useful thing to do, to step on and off. And it's one of those essential skills that always should be maintained. What a great message to start finishing off on. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, they are very patient. These guys are absolute gems, really, in general. They can be quite noisy. They can sort of like have bickering with each other, but I really like them. Well, why wouldn't I, honestly? Yeah, they probably have trained me to do that. These guys probably wouldn't actually really be that fussed about training during videos. I just thought I'd do it with them. There you go, off they go, and there goes my notes on the floor. And then Louis is going to kick off and make them fly. Let's just double check they're okay. Right, you're safe up there. Right, what have we got here? Yes, basically, Klaus, the hand is the cue for them now. I present it in a consistent way. So, you know, later on, you can skip some of the verbal cues and your hand does become a cue. So that's a great observation. Grace, do you have any resources to recommend on training behaviour? So that's actually, so Grace, I'm actually doing my course with Susan. That's the thing I talked about right at the start of this live. There are others. I've got some in my Amazon store. You don't have to like buy them from there, but you can find them there. Me and Sophie have a couple of courses. You'll find lots of stuff on the channel, which you probably have already explored. But you'll have more coming from us in the future when we actually have some time. We do plan to create some more written resources for people so they can read at their own time. It's just the time to do it all. You know, it takes a lot of time and effort, and we are lacking in both at the moment. Parrots and Wheels, awesome. You know, it's well worth doing constantly. Yeah, all those the step ups, recalls, back in the cages, touches, stuff that always should be maintained because they're essential behaviours. You don't ever want them breaking down, honestly. Recall, very important. I think if I had to order it, I think step up's the most important. Then potentially go back in the cage, then recall, and somewhere in there targeting and touching as well. Because you need to be able to touch your bird in an appropriate way to make sure that they're sort of like okay with husbandry. Have I missed any questions or anything? Because I need to wrap this up in the next couple of minutes. And you can tell the birds are getting impatient now as well. What are you doing? Why are you nibbling that? Let's bring you down to say goodbye then. Come on then, monsters. Grace, yeah, targeting is an absolutely essential skill. I kind of veer back and forth on where I'd rank it, which is why I didn't rank it there. It's so useful, but I just think stepping up is so important, you know. Anyway, guys, I need to wrap this up. So I'm exceptionally grateful to everyone who turned up. Let's get rid of those ads. I'm exceptionally grateful for all you turning up for this little festive special. I didn't wear my hat for the whole thing. I'm apologising for that. Thank you for all those who are naughty. Thank you all those for the kind words. Do stay tuned for more content in the future. And I hope you all have a really exceptional festive season. Are you guys going to come up and say goodbye? Chip, chip. Good boy. Are you going to say goodbye? Say goodbye to everyone. Woo! Woo! Okay, guys, take care and have a really, really great day and have an awesome festive season. Whether you celebrate it or not, I just hope it's really good for you. Take care. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.